Hello, it's Lisa with My Pagan Path Works, and I want to welcome you to the channel. If you're brand new, we invite you to subscribe. If you're already subscribed, then we thank you for coming back to spend some time with us. And so, in today's video follows along the lines of my last video that I recorded, and so pretty much I've been, right now in my path, I feel like what I'm supposed to do is help others who are going through their spiritual awakening. So what I want to do today is talk a little bit about what happened when I started my own spiritual awakening. So we're gonna have to go back in time quite a ways. So the time frame was like right after year Y2K, I guess. The in so my first ex-husband was very mentally abusive and very cruel at times. I'll be the first to admit that sometimes he had some valid points, but the way he went about it was just very mentally abusive and cruel, and there's no other way to put that. So coming from that background, and because my own self-esteem was really suffering, it was hard for me to remain in the Baptist church. It is, especially the longer that I went to church, and it could be just the churches that I was going to, but the thought that I personally was worth nothing without Christ, and that's what I was being preached, was that we were all worthless sinners, and without Christ we were nothing, and we were not fit for heaven or a relationship with God and what have you. So since my own self-worth was really suffering, and I was really having a hard time with that, I left the church. And I haven't, and I really don't regret that. So I was investigating different religions, and like I suppose somewhere in that time frame, I don't remember exactly when, my youngest son was dating somebody whose family participated in a Celtic style revival religion, and we were invited to their home to experience some of their rituals. And so I was exposed for the first time to that there were alternative religions out there apart from the way I was raised. And so I went on a mission to find a different spiritual path. I needed a path that I could express my spirituality and have a relationship with deity that went beyond somebody telling me I was worthless without that deity being in my life. I needed something more than what I was getting in the church. And so time went on, and eventually I remarried, and we moved about an hour away from my family, and we had a space outside to do outdoor rituals where we lived. And so I started off practicing solitary Wicca, basically. Um, and that's what it was. And it's so, in beginning those practices, sparked my own spiritual awakening. And so one of the first things that happened after I started being more awake spiritually is that it brings you self-awareness. And prior to that time, I was a very self-centered individual. I'll be honest and say I was very self-centered and very very selfish, and not very giving, really, and or aware, for that matter, aware of how my actions affected other people. And so the first thing that awakening brought to me a long time ago was self-awareness. And I became aware for the first time how my actions... Ooh, pardon me, man, it's late afternoon here right now during filming, and I am so tired I need a nap. So pardon me for yawning. Anyway, self-awareness came, and I started looking back on my children's childhood and on the decisions I made as a young adult, and oh my God, there was a point where it upset me so much that I didn't want to live anymore. I'm like, oh my God, that was just, it was hard to see yourself in that kind of light. So if you're going through that spiritual awakening, and you are becoming self-aware, and you're not liking what you see, don't lose hope, and don't lose heart, because that awareness is necessary. Oh goodness, so sorry. That awareness is necessary to help you grow as an individual. We need, as a society as a whole, we need more people to be aware of and be self-aware and know how their decisions affect the people around them, how they affect the environment, how it affects your children when you're raising them. It's like, the analogy is like when you throw a stone in the middle of a pond, it creates a ripple effect. And the decisions that we make and the actions that we take, and it has a ripple effect. It ripples the environment around us. So self-awareness is probably, if you were like me, self-awareness is the first thing that comes, and sometimes it can be painful. And so my suggestion would be to spend time in meditation. But whatever you do, if you get suicidal, go talk to a therapist and go talk it out. The emotions will pass, and get some help. I urge you. The thing that saved me was reaching out to my daughter and my children and my mom. I had a support system. So that would be the next thing that I recommend that you do. Find a support system that can help you as you progress through your awakening. If you have family members that are not going to understand what's going on with you, then find people. find other people. You can do it through social media. Um, you know, our local Covenant of the Goddess has open circles. There and classes where you can reach out to others who are also going through spiritual awakenings, and they can help you. You can build a support system, because a support system is you need that when you go through a spiritual awakening. In Because a lot of times at first it it's uncomfortable, and it can hurt, but I promise you, you will get through it. And it is something that is survivable. Um, but you've got to A, reach out and find a support system, and B, do a lot of journaling. C, get yourself in a meditative state, and just calm your mind, and do some reading and some research on spiritual awakenings. There's a lot more videos out here on YouTube that will help you with the spiritual awakening as well. And I am by no means finished with mine. I am finished with the majority of my shadow work, but now I'm moving into a rest period where I'm in between the past and the future, and my direction is not always clear right now. So I am living, breathing proof that you can survive it even if it's painful. So I thank you so very much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it is helpful to you. And like I said, you can do this. And thank you so much for watching.